Have you heard about Bill C-246? If you're a farmer, rancher, hunter, fisherman, or even a pet owner, you need to know about this proposed law and how it will impact your life and even your livelihood if it passes in the House of Commons. Now, Bill C-246 is a private member's bill, formerly called the Modernizing Animal Protections Act, and it's being promoted as legislation to ban the importation of shark fins and outlaw the practice of shark finning in Canadian waters. But that is not the whole story. The bill was introduced by a Liberal backbencher named Nathan Erskine Smith, and he's a vegan. Now, this is like people who think fossil fuels are evil writing energy policy. Oh wait, the Liberals are doing that too. Now, the bill has been pushed by US-based animal rights activist groups and has been introduced in the House of Commons at least 7 times in the past in different forms, and in each of those 7 times it was struck down by common sense MPs. But this time is different. The Liberals are in charge now, meaning we have so many fewer of those common sense MPs standing up to defend us from the danger this bill poses to Canadians who participate in heritage activities like hunting, fishing, and farming. Now, the problem with this bill is that it's just too vague. Let's take the bill apart and I'll show you exactly what I mean. Now, the first part of the proposed law outlaws the use of domestic dogs and cats for fur. That sounds great on paper. I love my dog. I even have a cat named Margaret Scratcher. But there is a big problem here: the vagueness. The bill doesn't identify domestic animals by their scientific names. Now, why that's important is that coyote fur is widely harvested as an incidental side effect of the predator control measures farmers, ranchers, and landowners use to keep their land and livestock safe from overpredation and overpopulation by coyotes. And because coyotes can mate with domestic dogs, there are hybrid animals out there that will be killed and their fur will be used in the fur trade. No one killing one of these animals and harvesting its fur should face a criminal charge. And the law needs clarification to prevent innocent people from going to jail. The second part of the law looks good to me. It outlaws the shark fin trade. I get it. I don't even want to argue that point because I want to get to the worst part of the bill, and that's the last part. It reads that anyone who kills an animal or, being the owner, permits an animal to be killed brutally or viciously, regardless of whether the animal dies immediately, is guilty of committing a criminal offense with a punishment of up to 5 years in jail and up to $10,000 in fines. Now that sounds good. We all like our animals. Some of them are even delicious. And you know me, I hate the idea of an animal suffering before I get to eat it. But the problem with this law is that there's no definition of brutally or viciously. Someone, say a vegan Liberal MP from Beaches, East York, Ontario, might have a different definition of brutally than a lawful, ethical bear hunter from Edson, Alberta, or a farmer from Swift Current, Saskatchewan, who is humanely euthanizing a sick animal on the farm. With no legal definition of what brutal or viciously means, and without any exceptions written into the law for traditional animal uses, any person causing the death of an animal is at risk for charges, including people who butcher their own chickens for meat or a driver who has just hit a deer on the highway. We are all at risk because of the intentional vagueness of this law. And understandably, the hunters, anglers, and agricultural associations are outraged. Rightfully so. This one law could outlaw farming as we know it and render illegal hunting and fishing and traditional animal uses like the fur trade that Canadians have done for hundreds of years. These organizations are advising that anyone concerned about Bill C-246 should contact their MP immediately and have their voices be heard. Now, I talk about these Laurentian elites from urban Eastern Ontario a lot. Time and time again, they demonstrate that they have such contempt for the West and rural Canada, or anyone outside the Ottawa-Toronto bubble, really. This is the same old Liberal Party, the same ones that threw Western farmers in jail for just selling their own meat. They're the same Liberals that decided that if you didn't register your grandpa's old 22 that you keep behind the seat of your grain truck, that you were a criminal and worthy of jail time. These are the same old Liberals looking for new ways to criminalize our Western way of life. For the Rebel.media, I'm Sheila Gunn Reid. If you want another way to stand up for Canadian farmers, click the link below to go to boycottanw.com, where you can watch my video and sign my petition asking A&W to get Canadian beef back in all of its restaurants.